This is the Deepeeka South German Katzbalger. This one's a pretty beefy blade. Take a look at some specs, up close looks, and some cutting with this sword. Okay, overall first impressions on this one is a chonky little beast. It's a 31 1/8 inch overall length. So from tip all the way to the peen pommel, it's 31 1/8 inches long. This is a double-edged blade with C60 high carbon steel. This one's from Deepeeka, and it's on the heavier side. Katzbalger swords, which are associated with Landsknecht type of warfare, this was their sidearm. So if you had the pike, which I actually have a staff here to kind of show you on pike, this would be multiple feet, few feet above my head in length. That pike was out front. Things got too close. This thing came out either by itself, or, I'm going to put the scabbard down so you can see it, or in conjunction, where this is still holding the center, but now I can cut here and I can cut forward and potentially even move a pike out of the way and still get my pike into the enemy. But pike was the primary, this was their sidearm, and then some people call it their last ditch effort. So it's definitely heavier on the chopping. There's some types of them as well that have a little bit more of a pointy tip. People say you can't thrust with this. I don't buy that. Maybe going through the body, but that's still going to do quite a bit of damage. But this is obviously engineered for much closer combat, and it's also engineered to primarily be a hacker and a chopper, which I would agree that thrusting is secondary with this type of sword. If you've done any research on Katzbalgers, they kind of vary, like I just said. They were worn a lot higher up on the hip and on the back of the pelvis, so they weren't worn, you know, lower, like on the upper part of the thigh. They were worn more toward on the small of the back, even up way up toward the hip, probably so the draw could be tighter and everything was closer in. That way you can maneuver your weaponry in tight quarters, especially fighting in a pike formation. Something that I don't see, let's talk about the scabbard really quick before I say that. Scabbard's wood cord leather wrapped. It's got a steel tip on the end. You'll get more up close looks on that. The draw is on the tighter side, which I like. I actually like that better for safety, and also for, this is going to go on a sword stand. You want to know this is probably not going to fall out. Wood handle that has it's a ribbed wood handle, which is thicker toward the pinky side. The pommel's peened, and then that hook at the end sits very nicely into the hand, especially with the weight of this one, which is 3 pounds, 10.8 ounces. That's pretty heavy, so this is why I call it the chonky little choppa, because that's what it is. It packs a punch for how short the blade is. I'm gonna put the scabbard down. Something I don't see talked about a whole lot or at all, and if you know, comment below, is that this whole section here is not sharp at all, and I can't find anything about why. I could see rigidity of the blade. I could see it's faster to sharpen. You can make a bunch of stuff about it. But my theory is, and tell me what you think about this in the comments below, is that this section is here in case the draw didn't go well. So let me elaborate. We'll make this quick. This is being held, you know, if you're that close in, I can't have this crazy big draw into a high position. So what happens, remember that it's kind of tight going in and out, so you're going to see the draw in and out. What happens if I can only get this thing out this far? It's like, I don't have a weapon now? No. Grab it, and as a last ditch effort, I can now use this. I can use this to hack, and I wouldn't be holding the scabbard. This would be attached to my person. Then I can transition into a primary grip with it. That's my theory on it. It's like, if you're here, you're like, shit, I can't get this out. I've got somebody next to me, I don't want to have friendly fire. Grab it up here and use it until you can get to the primary grip. That's my theory on it. I haven't seen anybody talk about that with the little bit of research I've done on Katzbalgers, but comment below and let me know what you think about that. So wood cord leather wrap sheath, definitely on the heavier side, and the chonky little chopping beast of the South German Katzbalger. Let's do some up close looks at this one in the scabbard and out of the scabbard. Overall length is 31 1/8 of an inch, blade length 25 5/8 inches. Weight is 3 pounds, 10.4 ounces. This one comes unsharpened, but you can get it sharpened. It is 53 millimeters wide, and the thickness goes from 4.6 millimeters to 3.7 millimeters. I said the pommel was peened. The pommel is a nut construction. The nut construction on this one. Point of balance is 4¼ inches from the guard. Grip length is 3 inches. The wood section is 3 inches, but there is a slight ferrule on it, which will help with the 4-finger grip. Blade steel, C60 high carbon. Culture's technically German and Swiss, and this one's manufactured by Deepeeka. Alright, talking about cut testing with this one. Out of the 3 Deepeeka swords that I've reviewed for this month, this is my favorite for cutting because it's unique. It is a total beast when it comes to chopping. As long as you have some training, under your belt, and common sense sword safety, cutting with the Tommy mats and things like that. This is the one that I would pick out of those 3. Out of the 3 Deepeekas that I'm reviewing this month, this one's my favorite. It's unique, but not just off of fit and feel, but also just the function as well. Let's take a look at the cut testing with the South German Katzbalger from Deepeeka. So who would I recommend this sword to? Someone who that you may be getting a gift for the holiday season, who's a collector of unique swords. This is definitely a unique sword, and it's around the $250 to $275 price point. So you'll have to check the link in the description, or I'll just put it across the text on the screen right now. So under $300 before shipping. It's a unique blade. It's pretty freaking durable when it comes to the standards of sword durability for cutting soft targets. And the other cool thing too is if you want to use this for reenactments, it doesn't have to be sharpened. These come to us unsharpened, so you don't have to have a sharp sword for Ren fairs and stuff like that. If you just want something that's in an area of history that you're interested in personally, or somebody who that you're friends with or family, this may be something you want to pick up. So that's who I would recommend this to. Some sword collectors, people who are into history of the Landsknechts, and they're very unique and vibrant colors they would wear as well into battle. So it's a pretty sweet blade. That's what I'd recommend this sword for. Cool, so that's it for the Deepeeka South German Katzbalger, the Landsknechts Katzbalger. This is their sidearm. You can call it their last-ditch effort. I call it the chonky little choppa, chonky little beast. If you want to pick this one up, it's available at kultofathena.com. Click the link in the description below this video to pick this one up today for yourself or for a fellow sword collector or someone who likes history. I'm your host, Tom, for Kult of Athena's YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give this video a thumbs up. Follow us on TikTok and on Instagram. And I'll see you in the next review.